Okay, so right now, thanks everyone for coming tonight. So we have over here today, our topic is on how to attract the right man in your life. Okay. Okay, so just to let you all know, maybe some little background about Fabrique Love and myself. So, okay, for Fabrique Love is we are a dating agency. So we've been doing events and we've been doing one-to-one matching. So what we do is we handle singles events. So we do have events in small groups or slightly larger group. But right now, due to COVID situation, we are not able to hold such big groups. So what we do is more on the smaller mini events. And for us, right, how we do our matching is actually through our personalized, depending on your own criteria and your profile, we do our dating services and we do personalized services. So for the next one, you see, for myself, I'm married for 10 years. So I have two kids. This is just to let you all know. And over here, I do more towards the relationship managing of the client. So we do matching as well. And for me, I actually consult and coach all the clients that we have on their dating journey. So more on towards their communication skills, how they actually talk to the party or the date that they are seeing. So they do have different kind of issues or problems. They will come to me and I'll share with them what they should do or whatever the party is actually, or perhaps what are the kind of wrong signals that they are sending to the guys that they have been facing so far. So for here, let's begin. Okay, so we have online dating versus the traditional dating. So for Singapore itself, we have 850,000 singles in Singapore and is continuing increasing. And for traditional dating, right, what we do, what's the flow like? You get to meet people in groups, you get to know them, and then before you proceed to a one-to-one date. Whereas for dating app, you actually bypass the traditional group meeting. So the first thing you do is actually you check online based on the photo or based on the profile or some words that they share about themselves, and then you proceed to a one-to-one date. So for online dating, right, what are the kind of cons and pros? So of course the benefits is very clear. You get to actually meet a lot of people and it's free and it's actually easily accessible as long as you have a Wi-Fi or your internet connection. As you can just swipe and left and right, you get your chance to meet up and connect with people easily. But of course, the bad thing that we have to take note, or rather we have to be cautious about, is actually there are a lot of personal data lost in an event of breach. So like for example, in February 2019, over 6 million Coffee Meet Bagel, the CMB users, they have their information leaked. And online is a place where things get spread very easily. So revealing too much personal information online can bring about unwanted risks and data losses. So for online dating, right, we have seen people with fake accounts, or there are a lot of love scams. So I believe all of you have seen a lot of the news and articles about, like, over here I have an example is in 2017, there's a woman, is a businesswoman who lost over 1.1 million over a span of 4 months. So even women that is very educated, but for just a short 4 months time, she's able to actually fall in love so deeply that she's willing to, you know, it's more of the how they will do is actually they will get your they will let you to empathize with them. So they will actually get your attention. They will let you know that, you know, they love you, they have a future with you, they're looking forward to see you. So but somehow or rather they will need money, and they will actually gain your trust first, and they are very good in manipulating people's emotions and thoughts. So there are a lot of love scams and fake accounts around that. Online, there is no gateway, there is no barrier to actually help us to make sure that, you know, the people that you meet is someone real, someone that is really single out there, really wanting to get to know you, instead of someone that you're talking to. You don't know whether the party that you are talking to is 13 years old or 31 years old. So that's the danger of online dating. And women, we have actually very strong intuition on guys' abnormal behaviors. For example, I have my clients that share with me that, she met someone online. So after going out for a few weeks, and she realized that certain days of the week, like example Sunday especially, during the dinner time or meal times, this guy tend to be uncontactable. So they are not able to talk to him. She's not able to find him easily. And when they are together on weekdays after work, she realized that sometimes her phone is always usually on silent. She don't get to actually hear ringtone or messages. She don't hear the ringtone at all. So through all these kind of little things, and women being we are more focusing on more little small details. So as you get along with a guy like that, you get to know, you will find that something is wrong, something is amiss. So that's why women tend to be afraid of going online because of there's a lot of guys that, I will not say all, but there could be some that they actually have their own family, they are married, and they're just out looking for a fling or for something that just for fun. And women, that if you are going out to online, you are trying to look for a date, a serious date, you would not want to waste your time or get your love feelings cheated with men like that lah. So over here we can see, so online dating in a nutshell is you get to communicate with someone through the screen. So you really have no idea who is the one that is behind the screen. So this is a expectation versus reality kind of thing. So for a dating agency like us, right, what we do is actually we have to do screening. So the first thing is we do screening for our members to make sure that they are all legally single. So we have to check with ROM on their marital status. So to make sure if they are divorced, they actually have to provide us with the necessary documents to make sure to prove that they are currently divorced already lah. So people that is in the process like separation, they are not allowed to join dating agencies. So for event goers or people who are coming for one-to-one matching, they all have to go through this screening. So for a dating agency, what we can guarantee is more of the credibility. And another thing very important to us women is the commitment. So the guy that you are meeting is someone serious in wanting to settle down. That's the most important mindset of the guys when they come to a dating agency, because I think women, we are at a more disadvantage because of our biological clock. So, women tend to come to dating agency slightly earlier or younger than men because of the biological clock. So we want to get married before maybe around 30 years old, or 30 years old meet someone, and by 32 we hope to get married and settle down so we can start to have babies, because once you're above 35 years old, you're considered a high risk pregnancy already. So that's why women tend to be a little more anxious. And for men, who wants to come to dating agency, definitely you yourself, if let's say you come to dating agency, you are spending a substantial money or some money to actually go for all these services, you are really hoping for a serious result as compared to a free online dating app that's available easily. So people who come to dating agency with spending money, they are actually really serious and committed. Otherwise, they will not want to spend the kind of money to come here for a matching service. So for dating agency, what we do is actually we are more providing you with the same frequency, the guys that actually have the same commitment to want to settle down. And our matching is based on your specific dating requirements. So first we get to know your profile, like age, occupation, education, religion. We get to know your dating requirements. So we need to know, like, for example, I have, everybody have their own must-have and deal breakers. So some of the women, they cannot accept if the guy, for example, is a smoker. And like for myself, I cannot accept if the other party is a non-Chinese. So it's not something racist or anything, but it's just a personal preference. So there is no right or wrong. So basically, we need to know what are your requirements. So what are the things that you know yourself that is a no-no based on your past experiences that you have. And certain things is like can be discussed. Like for example, maybe height. If let's say I'm looking for someone that is maybe 170, it doesn't matter to me whether he is 169 or 171, because 1 cm is not gonna make any big difference. So what happened is we will match you based on the requirements and your own profile. So over here. Okay, so we have over here we went through some channels. So we have the traditional method, the online dating method, and through the dating agency method. So with all the various channels to actually meet new people, why are we still unable to find your right one? So today why are we here is because we are going to focus on a topic of how to attract the right man in your life. I have my clients that always tell me, the men that I like do not like me, and the man that is coming after me, I'm not interested. So they go through this cycle over and over again. And they get very tired of it, and I don't know if there's anyone of you here that shares the same kind of experience. You all can just pop your question at the Q&A. Let's just make it a more casual kind of sharing here. Okay, so for those non-Chinese that you can see here, it actually means like I think for Chinese you can read 啦。说我最近见了一些男生，感觉就是我喜欢的不喜欢我，喜欢我的我又不喜欢，最后我也不知道自己想要什么了。So my clients actually come to us and let me know that she met a lot of men. So those that she doesn't like her, and those that she don't like keep coming after her until the day that she really don't know what she really wants. So that's the tiredness and the stress that women will face when you actually go through this whole period, the phase of finding the right one. Okay, so the next one that I want to touch about is, do you really know what you want? Are you in the first place letting yourself date the wrong guy all along? Or could you be missing out on your Mr. Right because you have been focusing on the wrong things? So these three questions are the questions that I wish all the ladies here, y'all can actually think about it, have some serious thoughts, and perhaps y'all might want to actually share with me at the Q&A section if you have any questions, okay? So the next one that I want to touch on is, what are the common criteria women look out for? So we have on the left panel is we have age, height, physical appearance, education qualifications, your income level, nationality, religion, marital status. So these are the common criteria that women share with us when they actually look for a match. So they want to know what is the age group of the guy, how tall is the guy, how the guy look like, whether he actually look like uncle or whether he's looking like a very sporty buff type, what is the education qualification, whether the income level is of the level that I feel that I can accept, the nationality, religion, and the marital status. So whether it's married, single, or as in divorce, single, or he's widowed. So these are those things that women will want to know before they actually meet up with the guy. But then again, if we look into it, are these the real deciding factor that can guarantee a happy marriage? You don't see people around you that are married, or your parents or your siblings who are married. They will tell you that these are. I'm very happy that my wife is my husband is of this height. I'm very satisfied that my husband is holding this masters, or the nationality, things like that. These are normally not the deciding factors that people actually rely on once they are into a relationship. Okay, so what should we do? The first step that I want to share with y'all is you need to be open-minded. You need to be open-minded. So all relationships begin as friends. You need to be meeting new people with the intention of making friends instead of screening for a boyfriend. So what does it mean here? Because we have different levels of relationship. So each level will start with friends, no matter what kind of relationship. You can be relationship with your siblings, with your loved ones, with someone that you actually share your co-workers. So all these kind of relationship, the most fundamental step is to be friends. So what happens is when you are making friends with someone, you will get the opportunity to really get to know this person well enough before you proceed to the next stage. And why do we say the mindset is very important? Because when we send our clients on dates, the moment you go with the mindset or the attitude that you feel like this person is my potential boyfriend, or this person is my potential husband, you tend to be judging him more. You tend to be screening him for deal breakers. You tend to be screening him for a lot of whether plus point or minus point. You tend to look for all these kind of signs on the first second, the moment you meet him. This is not good. It's because you usually when we try to judge something, we will tend to try to pick up flaws or pick up points that you think could be better. So what happens is when you are making friends, like maybe during our university stage, if you can recall, we tend to be able to make friends with people freely. We don't judge. And during the kind of school days where you get into relationship, you do not have those points that I actually mentioned previously, like all the age, height, education, all these points are not affected in your decision. You normally don't rely on this to find your right one. You would go with the flow. You go with the feeling you have about this person. What are the plus points? How's the personality like? What's the attitude or the things that he's willing to do for you, or you are willing to do for him. So you are more focusing on all these kind of soft criteria rather than the hard ones. So the first thing we want is to have an open mind, because that's the only chance for you to get to realize or find out this person's strength instead of picking on the flaws. So the second step, you have to actually be the person you want to attract. So over here you see, if let's say you want someone that is tall and good looking, but you ever think about in his kind of perspective, someone tall and someone very good looking, what kind of lady will he be attracted to? Will he be attracted to a plain Jane, or will he be attracted to someone that actually is very groomed, she knows how to take care of herself, maintain herself? So if let's say you want someone sporty, but you're one that you don't even get up early to see the sun, or will you be attracted to someone sitting quietly in a corner, or a humorous, confident man at the center of attraction? So the type of person that we want to attract, you first have to be, you have to be one yourself. So that's where we want to actually focus more on your self-improvement. Go for classes, exercise, eat healthy, just to actually build your own confidence, build your own profile. So that's where you actually get to attract similar person. We attract what we are and not what we want. A lot of times, what happens is I have my clients that does, I would want my future partner to be this. I would want my whoever to be this. But in the first place, we actually have to know what works for us, what works for them. It's not what we really want. It's more of what we are and what actually can work out. So if you want to have an awesome partner, first you need to be awesome. So it's a balance. So the step three that we have here is you have to step out of the comfort zone. So if let's say for the past 3 years, 2 years, you have been single, your life has been the same, you've been going to work, after work is home, or after work hanging out with some friends, or you go for exercise, your whole day will actually turn out, your routine is like that. And for the past 2 years, your routine has been the same. And you realize that your marital or your status, relationship status is also the same. You actually have to do something different in order to step up, and you want to get a different kind of result. So I think that's a very clear-cut kind of logic behind it. So you want to have a change, first you have to do something different. So if you want to date someone different, you have to start doing something different. Try dating someone you have never dated in the past. Try going to some places you never went before. So this is your life. If you do not initiate a change, everything will remain the same. Okay, so over here, I want to talk about how should we actually present ourselves. So the first thing we have physical appearance, body language, communication skill, and the vibes. So these four components actually sum up how people will see you, how people will feel about you and comments about you. So we go into the different component. For physical appearance, complexion, the first thing that men generally they will look at one person, they will look at a lady, they will take note of the complexion. So although they are not good kind of, what you call it, They are not those beauty consultants, you know, they are not aware of what kind of skin tone is this, what is whether the skin type is dry or you know or oily. But the first thing they will see is whether the complexion is clear, is flawless, or is with acne or with scarring, whether it's glowing or does this person look very dull, very sleepy, dark eye rings. So complexion is one thing that we actually will send out to the male to the guys that we are meeting. So the next thing that we look at is the hair. So whether your hair, there's different type of hair. So there's so many hairstyle, long, short, straight, wavy. The colors, there's so many different colors. So what is the color or the hairstyle that actually suits you? And what kind of feel or the vibes that you will give with your current hairstyle? So guys are men are very visual. So they realize on all these kind of things that they receive information and their brain need to process. So the first information that they can receive before talking to you is to look at you. So the first thing they will look at the face, they will look at your complexion, your features, whether proportionate, the eyes big, whether the smile is good, the teeth. The next thing they'll look at is the hair. So this person, different people have different preferences. So some guys like ladies with long hair, some like them with short hair. But the main thing is actually what suits your face, what actually is something you really feel comfortable and you like it in. So the next thing that actually we have our guys that share with us a lot of times is the makeup part. So okay, for the makeup, right? This is one thing that a lot of gentlemen actually after the day they will come back to feedback with us. So like they will let us know like they are more attracted to women who do a little bit of makeup. They would normally say, oh, I don't want those that have very very heavy makeup. But if the girl appear totally without any kind of grooming or effort in grooming, the guy tend to feel less attracted because very simple, makeup right is actually meant to make our features stand out and not to hide any kind of flaws. So you have to actually know what type of makeup suits you and not whatever that is trending currently. It's more of a little light makeup. Like myself, actually, I don't really like to do very heavy makeup. I'm quite a lazy person. So for me, actually, I do my eyelash extension. So I'll just go and have the eyelash extension, and my skin is pretty easy. I just put on my CC cream and apply some blusher. So I only have actually, I think other than skincare, I have sunblock and CC cream and blusher. Sometimes I put some loose powder in the middle of the day, and that's all. So I don't do anything to my eyes because I think I don't like all the tugging and all the removal. I'm quite a lazy person lah. But the thing is, I know that the eyelash actually help my eyes to look brighter and bigger. So that's why I always go for my eyelash extension. So it's something that you guys, if let's say you are keen to know, I can share with you. Okay, but after the whole webinar. So that's for makeup part. And then for dressing, you need to know what clothes actually suits your body type. So depending on your height, depending on your build, your bone shape, so different kind of body shape actually the same clothes wear on different lady actually have very different kind of effect. And I believe I think all of us ladies, being ladies, we tend to like to look at clothes. We look at a lot of magazines sometimes. In the past, I think our time there's a lot of magazines. So right now everything is online. So you tend to want to look at ladies, how people are wearing, matching their clothes. We tend to focus on all this also, but after looking, do we really know how to apply it on ourselves? So whether you're heavy bottom, or what kind of prints will suit, whether does big prints or stripes really work on you? So what are the areas that your body's, what is the word called, to stand out? Like if you're curvy, like maybe you have very slim legs, you should know what kind of clothes suits your body. So these are those things that you actually have to do some study and work on it. The complexion, your hair, makeup, dressing. Okay, so that's for physical appearance part. So for body language, our facial expressions, how do you smile, you frown, how do you feel a surprise, how do you show fear? All these are written on your face. And this is something, it's a universal language throughout everywhere, throughout the whole world. So no matter you are your race, what country you're from, facial expressions all tells the same. And it is very, very meticulous that you can really tell a lot based on facial expressions. So the next body language that we want to look at is your body movement and posture, how you sit, how you walk, and how you stand. So men, when they meet up with you, okay, so imagine the scenario that this particular guy that you are going to meet is someone of your dreams. You know, he has a very every particular qualities about him is something that you really like, and you find that he has a he's very attractive, everything you wanted lah. So basically, when you meet up with this person, you would want your date to be successful. You will want him to have the same feeling about you as well. So when you walk towards him, the guy that is actually facing you, first thing he will look at you. You'll look at the general overall dressing and how you actually walk over, whether you walk with grace or whether you walk like you don't have confidence, or whether you walk like a very lost, or worse still you fall or you trip and fall. So the body movement and posture actually tells a lot about you. Whether you are feeling tired, feeling restless, like you can't wait to leave, or you are feeling very interested. So all this says a lot. And gesture, like waving, pointing, so all these kind of hand movement that we tend to subconsciously have. So all these kind of gesture, we also have to be careful lah, not to overdo it, or you'll be like a very awkward situation if you're sharing something you're very excited with, and you're doing a lot of actions, and you're in a restaurant, a quiet restaurant, and the guy would feel very out of place or very awkward if you're overly doing it, and it will actually cause a bad impression on his side. So the next one we want to focus is eye contact. This is actually the most important one other than the facial expression. Eye contact is our eye is the window, is the soul basically. So eye contact actually tells you whether this person has any interest. It will show whether your eyes can show whether you're having affection, and you will show whether this person is keen on you or whether this person is serious, sincerity. All these kind of feelings can be shown through the eyes. So the next one is touch. A little handshake, some hug or a pat on the head. All these are part of a body language. So sometimes when we, if you will get people, it will bring about different kind of result. So imagine if you're talking to someone you more or less have a little comfort level with, and you will want to bring that comfort level to a little higher or closer. Maybe when you are talking about maybe let's say he makes some jokes. So as you find it really funny and you're laughing, you know, it's okay to have to tap on his shoulder or on his hand. All this kind of small tap is actually is nothing bad, and it actually will help in terms of bringing two person to become closer, because you are in an environment where you are listening to a joke, or you are having some happy vibes, happy conversation going on, and this kind of touch, a little small touch on the hand, like just maybe, you know, when you're talking, you just touch on his hand, is totally fine, especially for us ladies. So we have a little disadvantage lah. So that's why this touch, right, this kind of body language will actually portray a message to the other party on. He will try to read signals. Guys are like that. So for men, they are trying to read signals, and women, we should try to send signals. And a lot of times, perhaps you all have been sending the wrong kind of signals, so you don't know how to. The guy are not able to connect. So maybe you like the person a lot. You find that, you know, he's someone nice to hang out with. You want to go out with him more, but because you do not know how to send the right signal, he will feel that maybe this lady is not interested, or maybe this lady doesn't seem so keen in me. Maybe I should just back off. So the moment you do not send the right signal and they do not catch any signal, the relationship will definitely not be successful. Okay, so all these kind that we are covering here will actually contribute to how we actually send signal. So for the space, which is a comfort zone, everybody has their own comfort space. So we need a certain space in between people to where you will feel comfortable. Perhaps sometimes like if you are talking to someone new, someone that you met on the first day, and he's standing so near to you, definitely you will feel uncomfortable. So space is something that we can actually utilize to actually bring our relationship to the next level. So the voice, how you actually speak, the timing, how you pace your words, the loudness, the tone, all these are factors that can actually that can actually send very strong signals as well. So like tone, like for example, some like maybe when the guy is talking, and you make some small little acknowledgement, yeah, yeah, So all these are also voice, are also part of this component voice, where you're actually agreeing, you're letting the guy know that I'm listening, I know, okay, I'm feeling whether I'm feeling happy, same as you, or I'm feeling empathetic, I can feel your worry, I can feel your stress. So all these are how you actually send your message across using voice. And loudness wise, whether you are angry, whether you are, of course, when we are angry, we tend to shout louder. So it's also the same thing when you want to show or connect on a more emotional level. Your voice definitely cannot be loud, this of course, and your voice actually has to be more on the gentle side, where you are trying to talk on a peaceful pace and peaceful volume, but you're trying to only he can hear you because you are of the distance that both only the both of you connecting. So when all these add up together, your whole body language, as long as it's positive, is you are focusing on every component, making sure everything is right. That's where you can tend to have a bigger chance of having a good date. Okay, the next one that we want to talk on is communication. For communication, right, the first thing you have to do is to have active listening. You have to really listen. So the next one you have to do is asking questions. After you listen, then you get to ask questions. Am I right? If you do not listen to whatever that he's sharing, how will you know what to ask? So for the asking question part, right, some suggestion that for you is, if let's say you want to talk about open-ended questions, you can actually ask like what or how. Like, what do you do over the weekend? How did that happen? Like maybe he shares certain things. So after hearing it, you want to ask him questions. Oh, so how did it goes? How did your work go? Or things like that. So it's more of a what and how. These are the open-ended kind of questions. So the next one we have is closed-ended questions. You can have words that start with did you do this? Did you do that? Would you have gone there instead? Must or have? Like is it a must for you to do this particular action, or have you ever done this? So these are those questions that you can ask. And for some very specific kind is like when, where, who, or how often. Like how often do you visit the gym? Have you watched this? Where do you go to for holiday last year? So these are those things that you would want to ask. So when we ask questions, a lot of times our clients, when they feedback to us, they go on dates, they don't know what to ask. They hit the awkward moment or the silence where they don't know how to proceed. There's so many ways to proceed. You just need to learn how to. In the first thing, I would say the listening part is not fully done well. If you are done well on the listening part, you will tend to know what are the things that you will want to ask, because I'm sure the guy is not someone that he's not encyclopedia. He can actually tell you everything, 100% release all information to you. He probably tell you things like, recently the last weekend I went to my mom's place and then I met up with my cousin, blah blah blah. So after that, you can actually get to ask, oh, so are you very close with your cousin? Do you normally, you share a lot, you spend a lot of time with your family? So as the guy shares certain things, some ladies might perceive that, oh, he just tell me he went to his cousin or his relative house, then I don't know what else to talk. So it's actually a very natural thing, then you can just ask him also, is he very close with this group of family, relative? I'm sure if you are keen in the guy, or it's just initial stage of exploring, you definitely want to know whether he's a family orientated person. So what are the kind of timing he spend outside of work, right? Maybe like, is it every weekend he go to the cousin house, or things like that. And on the guy's side, when you ask questions like that, they would feel that this lady is showing me interest. This lady wants to know about me, wants to get involved with me. So guys are very clear cut one. Women are the one that is more, we tend to think a lot more. So to the guys, just remember they are very silly one. So you just tell them, you just ask a lot of questions. They will just receive it as, this lady is keen in me. So that's why showing some interest in me. So that's where I would tend to want to answer more, because since you are interested, I don't mind telling you more. So it's the same for us ladies as well. When certain guys come and ask you a lot more questions, you will feel that he's more interested in me. That's why he asked me this. Am I right? Compared to someone who like doesn't totally don't care about what you have done, doesn't is not keen or interested in your life, you will not definitely not want to share so much, because very simple. If he's not keen, why should I tell him, right? So it's the same kind of frequency the guy is having. So the next one for communication is you have to be empathetic. You have to think about where this person is coming from. Like, okay, I have a very good example. Recently, of my clients, two of them went on the date. So what happened is the guy is very initiative. He talked a lot. He shared a lot about his past kind of experiences. So he shared with the lady about his army time, his NS period time. So it's many years ago already lah. But the thing is, the moment he starts sharing about the national service, he tend to use a lot of vulgar words, and he tends to actually continue. He keep telling her about the proud moments of during his time inside. I think he's a officer, if I'm not wrong. So he actually lead a team, and he share a lot of things that he feel he is very proud of. So as she tell the lady a lot of these things, from the lady side, she felt that firstly, you are using a little too much vulgar language, that she find it a little uncomfortable, a little awkward. The next thing that she find is it's very hard for me to get into your conversation, because I have not been to NS. I don't really know what it's like to go on outfield. I don't know what it's like to lead a team, and then you don't know what medal. I don't know all these things. I don't know how to actually what you call that, enter to your conversation. So what happened is, actually, if she put it in another way, so when she go back, right, first thing she will feel, I find that he actually speak a lot more vulgar language, which is something that she a little uncomfortable. But the thing is, the moment he is not on the topic of NS, this guy is totally normal. He do not use any kind of vulgar language, So she actually kind of understand, okay, like I try to stand in his shoe. I understand that actually it's a man kind of expression language during the army time. So she she will just actually close one eye to it, because he really do not use any kind of vulgar language when he do not talk about NS. I don't know why it's so magical, but it happens. And then another part is actually what happened is the guy, because it's the first time meeting this lady, he are quite afraid that the lady will be very quiet, or the lady will feel shy, not so willing to share things. So to him, he find that maybe I share more about myself and let her be comfortable to know me deeper before she can actually open up herself, and she will feel less stressed. So for the guy side, he just had this very simple intention, and a good one, I would say. So on the girl side, actually, what I'm trying to say is, when you are being empathetic, you tend to stand on the other person's perspective and his shoe, and when you look at the whole intention, you find that actually he has a good intention. It's just that maybe the way he's doing is not that right. But when you realize that with the good intention, you will not judge him so much already, because you will find that, hey, actually it's good for him. It's good that he is actually putting the effort to make me feel less stressed, or he wants to actually warm up the whole situation, don't want to have so many awkward moments. You tend to appreciate the guy's effort. So that's being empathetic part. And the next one is providing feedback, and this is something very important too. So you have to let the person know that like whatever that he's sharing with you, you have to show your kind of interest and your feelings. Like maybe, wow, this is a very interesting kind of situation. I don't know what will happen if I'm in your shoe. Maybe I will not like this, or maybe I would have reacted differently. As long as you provide your feedback, things like that, right? You let the other party know that you are trying to involve and he's listening, and that this person is really listening. Another thing is okay, this providing feedback. I have one just happened recently, very recent, last weekend I think. So I was talking to this lady today, and what happened is they went on the date over the weekend. So both of them had some pretty good impression with each other. So what happened is the guy did the feedback form a little few days later lah. So it came in quite slow. And then for the lady side, as she was checking with me today, she asked me a little more things. Then I shared with her. After that, I asked her, so how they all went out again. Then she said, oh, they went for tea, and then they started chatting on the phone and text all the messages and all that. So the lady, I asked the lady, did he tell you that he liked your accent, the way you speak? He finds that you have a very attractive accent when you speak. Then she's like, oh, did he? No, he didn't tell me that. But that's where the lady actually feel more. In the first place, she already has good impression on him. And if let's say the guy really does show this kind of compliments, just a very simple compliment to the lady will actually be able to appreciate him better. So it will actually work on the guy as well. When we really meet the guy that we like, we actually also have to provide feedback. You have to let the person know that, what are the points about him, the good strength about him that you like. So it's a two-way communication. For vibes, right, we have here a confident woman and a confident career woman is very different. Confident women send out vibes that they are very independent, they have a lot of options, and it's a very good catch. But the truth is, right, because you're not fast about finding the important one, you will be attracting a guy who is not interested in commitment. So a lot of times when we meet people, we find that you are attracting the guys that are not ready to settle down. You're attracting the guys that are not serious in relationship. But what kind of vibes you send out in the first place? So do you send vibes that you are very independent, you kind of do not need anybody in your life, the guys that when they see you, they might feel that this lady good in her appearance is alright, she's good in her career, she's very independent, so maybe she don't really care about having a partner, so maybe she has maybe other options, or she's just not ready at this moment. So when a guy receive all these kind of vibes, on a guy perspective, they will take it that if I'm someone that really want to settle down, perhaps this lady is not for me, so I will go for someone that is more suitable to really want to settle down or need, or someone that is actually looking for people like me. So it's a attraction thing. So when I understand that there's a lot of, it's a very blurred line between confident women and confident career women, because our clients, right, our client base, the women tend to be more on the confident career woman category. And when we talk about confidence, we need you to have confidence in yourself. That means you believe what you do is right. You believe what you say is all right. You when you speak, you're actually showing some kind of confidence level there, and not the confident career woman type. So these types is something that you really need to put in the effort to you need to learn how to be a woman and not learn how to be a confident career woman lah. So that's the difference there. So the vibes that you send out is very important. You will decide what type of man you will actually attract. If you want to attract because like I would not say playboy is is a more generic word lah. So men who are really not ready to settle down, they will look for women that require less commitment, that will not need a lot of attention. So that's why you might find that you are unable to attract the right one. And there is this thing called the norm of reciprocity. So we tend to like people who like us, and we will dislike people who don't. So like if let's say you're playing hard to get, or not really say playing hard to get, but you are not showing interest, or you're not providing feedback, you might get the guy to think that we don't like them, so you will actually lead them to dislike us in return. This is a whole two-way thing. So how you actually let the guy send the signals out, you will actually mislead them. If you really want to, like if you find that this person is really someone that suitable, someone that you can actually progress further, you must let this person know instead of like trying to keep quiet. Perhaps you do not have the intention of playing hard to get, but it's just more of like you don't know how to react, you are more shy in responding, so you tend to not give any feedback. So on the guy side, it's just very simple. This lady is not interested in me, so I will back off. So this kind of situation, you might lose someone that actually fits into your right, Mr. Right. So we have to really know how to send the right signal. So there is a social experiment. So by this experiment is by Journal of Personality and Social Psychology book. So what happened is the men were given feedback on 5 women feedback about them. So what happened is one of them give her all her matches. That means give all the guys very low rating. So one woman give all the guys very high rating. So a third was selective. So they rate all other men poorly except for the test subject. He was given a very good score. So when the men had to rate them in return, what happened is the woman who rated them highly, but everyone else poorly was the most desirable. I don't know if this is clear enough for you all. So what happened is, you look at the situation. So this lady rated everyone very 5 star, and one rated one all very low. So you have the intent, you have the perspective that, oh, this girl, the first girl is all rated so high. Is she really genuine? Is she really sincere? The one that rated all so low, you find that, is she really asking too much? Is she having some unrealistic kind of expectations? So compared to the third that, I rate other men poorly, but I only give you a very good score. So when the guy actually have to consolidate the based on this data, which women that, when they have to rate the women back, they actually pick the one that actually is more selective, because they find that, hey, you have standards. You actually have standard. That's why you are not being choosy. You are selective, but you're not being so choosy as compared to the second lady. But you are actually having your own standard. So what happened is, the key for us to do is you have to be selective but not excessively. So you must, I will not say make, what you call that, we do not want you to, like just to bring down your standard, lower your standard because you've been single for so long, or because age is catching up. This is not an ideal choice. So you have to be selective, but you do not go excessive. So you do not select one until every component must be this, must be this, must be this. As long as the key point of what matters to you, what works for you, you know exactly what is it, and this part the guy can fulfill, then you can actually compromise a little on certain things or certain areas that he's not doing so well right now, because certain things will change. Communicating will actually help to improve certain things, depending on what kind of components we are talking at. And so by doing this, right, you will be able to make the man that you are interested in feel special, because he will feel that you have standard. So when you are actually interested in me, and I feel that you are someone that is having some standard, you are not like the any girl on the street, you are special. So when you are interacting with me, I will tend to be more focused, or maybe more reciprocal a little, to show my interest as well. So when you actually meet the man that you really, like of the ideal choice kind, you need to send out the right vibes to let him know that, hey, this lady, she may be successful in her career, but she is not judgmental. She is not she still have the little girl side of her that needs me to look after. Because men are very afraid of meeting very independent, overly independent kind of lady, that they find that, you don't need me to look after you. You don't need me to be there with you. So if you do not need, there is no demand, there is no supply. So it's a very clear cut thing. So when you're overdoing it, right, your result, you get mistaken for the wrong messages. Like the guy might find that this lady overly cool, is like maybe giving me some cold shoulder, very low, very arrogant kind. You cannot control what other people think. But first thing, you need to actually know that certain kind of messages will be sent out when you do certain things. So and a lot of time we do not realize ourselves, and it's very, because this character is being you for so long. You've been built up by the environment, by your work culture, by whatever your life that your environment or your, what you call that, your career molds you to this character, or the people, your co-workers. You tend to become a very strong character, independent character. But that you will not realize that these are the vibes that you send out to guys when they come to meet you, because it's been there for so long with you already, 20 over years, 30 over years, and you've been like that. So it's hard to change, definitely, but you have to be more cautious about this from now on. Okay, so some common questions that ladies will ask, like, how do I impress my date on our first date? How should I behave on my first date? Or how do I keep the conversation going? What should I tell or not talk about? How do I know if he's the right one? And how can I make him take the initiative to ask me out? We ran out of things to say to each other after a number of months, and I'm not feeling the passion anymore. What should I do? How often should we be actually texting? Will I appear too needy or like an attention seeker? How can I get him to understand what I really want out of a relationship? All these are the common questions that our clients come to us when we are doing some private one-to-one Dr. Love session. So from there, we actually guide them a lot more. So you can see from here, right, for our Fabrique, we have our Instagram and Telegram channel. So you can actually look at it. Okay, let me just touch on this question. I have a question here. So someone asked me, what if the date did something really turn me off? Should I just walk off? Okay, so what happened is it depends on what kind of thing that you are mentioning about. If it's something, you have anything that you would want to share, like what kind of particular, whether is it a behavior that he do himself to himself, like maybe you just didn't like someone, for example, digging his nose and he do it in front of you, or is he doing something, an action that on someone else, like maybe shouting at the waiter or things like that. Okay, so whatever is it, it depends on the seriousness. But if let's say your date do something and this is your first time meeting him, for me, what I would do is I would talk to him. I would tell him, hey, actually, why do you do that? I would want to know his intention first. Whether is he feeling that or actually I have no idea. I today maybe have a bad day at work and then I just snap. I also don't know why. I'm sorry. I apologize. So if let's say he give a answer like that, I will actually give him a second chance. But if let's say he tell me things like, no lah, this waitress blah blah blah, like well she do this, or he do not what you call that, if he let's say he blame it on other people, or he finds that whatever he do that the one that particularly turn you off is something right, is in him, I think it's a very clear-cut thing that might not be able to work things out. So you can also want to judge for yourself whether this is your deal breaker or not, because he is quite confident that his action or his values is there. Then I will handle it. I will not walk off, but I will just talk to him that I would feel that would it be better if you do this instead. I would do that. I will actually tell this person, whether you might want to reconsider changing your kind of handling method. So and see what he give, what kind of response he give. Because when we give him our response is not like very critical, we don't do it very harsh, people will tend to soften down a little and share with you, or maybe yeah lah, but last time I tried before this method and I don't get the kind of response I want. So maybe you can, from there, you can actually have more sharing on what kind of values you think is right. Maybe you should try to change other things. I feel that it's good to actually forgive people, or things like that. When you share your values, you're actually sharing your strength or whatever that you believe in. you find that is good, you share your this part over to the guy. And who knows, the guy will actually, because of your sharing, realize that actually this lady is really kind. She is really considerate. It's something that attract him. And from there, he will actually try to change or try to, change his habit or the way he speaks or his attitude. So it really depends on what are the thing that you say that turn you off, whether it's a kind of action, behavior. If it's something that can be changed, then it can be discussed. It can, because it depends on how big a deal breaker it is to you. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so our secret dating formula, right? Okay, for us, Fabrique Love, we actually do a lot of pre-date, actual date, and post-date preparation for our clients. So for pre-date, what we do is, if let's say this client needs some image grooming, or if he's not, maybe more for guys, I would say, because when we go on date, we don't want our gentlemen to be wearing slipper, we don't want our gentlemen to be wearing bermudas or shorts like that, or clothes that lady do not feel comfortable looking at, because image is something very important. It's the first thing that you will leave, the first impression. So we actually get our gentlemen, what are the clothes to wear, what actually you should be doing minimally, because women don't have very high expectation for looks. As long as you look clean, you look hygienic, it's good enough. So that's for women's side. So we actually guide the guy, what are the things to do. And planning, we actually tell them, like more for the flow lah, like how they should, if let's say they have totally no experience in dating, how should they actually go about letting the girl to assist her in the ordering of food, let the girl order first, all these are gentlemen act. So maybe, we don't say pulling our chair. I think nowadays not many people will pull the chair for the date anymore, because but it's more of like, what are the plans that he can have. So the place, the venue that is chosen, or if it's raining, what should he do? He need to consider like more on the how to actually travel from places to places, and if the convenience for the lady, whether the activity that they are doing is something okay or not for a first date. So that's for pre-date. Actual date is the etiquette and the behavior. So we need to make sure that they know what to share, what to talk, how to behave. So all these are those things that we cover, like the body languages. And the post-date is more on the emotional connection and how to maintain the relationship. This is the part that actually I would say I'm more interested in, I'm more excited with, because I have so many cases. I have my clients that come to me, and you realize that for those relationships that really work, at least for those that I have met, are those that initially after they meet up, they have good impression, and maybe following very shortly, very closely, they will tend to have some disagreement. Maybe the lady or the guy will go through a stage of, are you really the right one for me? So I will start to have things that I will have questions, I will have insecurities, or whatever miscommunication, I will tend to back off a little. I maybe tend to suddenly not want to go out with you, not responding much, and then that's where my clients will come to me. So I have the guy that come to me, hey, like maybe I ask him, so how's everything going for the both of you? And then he will tell me, hey, no, I don't think things will work out because of this. She is like not very keen or whatever. Then I think that I thought I know from the feedback, from the impression both of you gave to me, it was so nice, it was so good, both of you really enjoy each other present. So that's where I know there's a miscom already. So I come in, I talk to them, I talk to both the guy and the girl to find out what is the problem. So I will normally find the lady first. So I'll get to know what the lady is feeling. Then I'll go to the guy. So what have you said? What have you do? So I would like to hear from the guy. So he will tell me, oh, he said this. Then I'll tell me, I cannot do this. The moment you say this, as a girl, I will have this kind of feeling. I will receive the message as this. So for a very simple example is my past client, I have one is the guy tell her that oh, since you're not free, I'm going out to meet my online friend, online lady friend. So so to the guy it's very simple. I'm going out with someone to meet a girl, but because I'm now in a stage of exclusive dating with you, I hope that I let you know. I thought it's a good honesty kind of thing. To the girl is I thought we are exclusive. I thought, you know, like you tell me you are meeting someone. So it's the wrong kind of communication there already. And the girl don't go and clarify because very simple, she find that I'm not your girlfriend yet. Of course, I'm in no position to go and question who you meet. And I don't want to appear as someone that is very controlling and all. So the girl tend to want to back out a bit. She felt that, it seems like he's not very suitable for me before she dared to commit anything. So she suddenly start to give the cold shoulder, and then the guy's very total loss. He don't know what to do. So that's where I came in, and then I explained to him why as a girl I would feel like that when you tell me this thing. So I'll go to the girl as well, and then I go and tell her, actually he meant this. So that's where the girl actually decided to give him a little more chance. They get to go out more, and then the guy know exactly what happened. He go and clarify, and slowly, eventually, they work out their relationship. So a lot of time, there need to be communication for real relationship to really work out. And those that actually successfully become a couple, they have this process, this hiccup there. It's very interesting. Okay, so the next one that I want to share with you is that we're coming to the end already. So we actually have our Dr. Love class. So we have 2 sessions of the 3-hour in-person workshop. So right now we are doing more on the webinar style, and actually in person I would prefer in person. I'm more of a person to person. I'm not good in all this kind of webinar or live thing lah. So I'm actually a very introverted person. if those of you who attended, some of you know me. So if y'all know, I'm actually quite introvert as well, but I'm good with one-to-one. I tend to be able to connect more and talk to a person, and I get to read a lot more things from the body language, from the expression, the tone and all. So for this, right, we have a master class here. So, and for today, we have this promotion for you all, if let's say you are keen. Okay, so for us, we have our master class. So it's a 2 session of 3 hours, 3 full hours. This value is at $98. And we have also a 1 session of one-to-one coaching. So it depends on your own personal situation or issue that you face, what kind of issue you particularly face. So it's more of a personalized one. And this session is valued at 147. And you actually have another one is you get unlimited lifetime access to a recorded live webinar video. And this value is also at $98. So for today's special, we have all these 3 add up together. And you are only paying 148 for a masterclass, for one-to-one personalized coaching, and for this recorded webinar. So if let's say you are keen, you all can sign up. So for this, right, we are only limited to the first 5%. Okay, so you can actually chat me over here. Yeah, you can actually chat me over here, or else you all can just WhatsApp to me. Oh, I think my phone number is written halfway. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Okay, my phone number is 92986340. Okay. So for anybody that is keen for this, right, we will actually share a lot more. We'll go into details on what you actually need to do before, what kind of grooming that changes you need to improve on, or what are the things that you actually really go about improving your communication skill. Because this is a whole, I can really tell you relationship is a more complicated topic compared to the masters that I just did. It's really very interesting. There's a whole scientific logic to liking someone. Like maybe I just share a very simple one. You actually, when you meet someone, the first time you meet someone, you actually you have a bank account with this person. So when I meet you, I have my bank account. You meet me, you have your bank account. So today I see you, okay, maybe I find that, I like your pleasant looking, you're very pleasant looking. I will add $1 to my bank account. And then I find that you tend to have similar interest spots as me. I add another $1 to my bank account. And then, but maybe certain things about you, I find that, you are a little bit too homely or too quiet, maybe not so appealing to me. I will minus $1. And maybe I find that, hey, you are very filial to your family. Because you share a lot of things about your family. So I find that, okay, I add another $1. It's something plus point to me. So over here, I added $3 and I took out $1. So I have an overall positive $2. What it meant is I have positive feeling about you. I don't mind going out with you again to explore, to know you more. A lot of times, some people, they find that I have no chemistry with this person. I don't find any kind of chemistry or linking. So what happened is I meet up with you, maybe I plus $1, I minus $1. So in general, it's a neutral. So people will tend to, after the date, they'll find that he's good. I cannot say anything bad about him. There's nothing to say bad about him, but I just don't feel attracted. I don't think I have the feeling, the passion, or I don't feel the chemistry there. A lot of people would say that. Actually, what happened is because you are at the neutral stage. You have yet to explore the plus and the minus that you have for him. So what happens if you meet up with him again, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, you'll go on a different setting, exploring different activity. You may get to explore a lot more things about him. Maybe subsequently it's all plus, 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 or maybe it could be all minus, 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 minus. So nobody really know which area you will go until you give yourself and him the chance to meet up and continue to get along. Because over a first 2 hour kind of dinner date, you can't really explore so many plus minus things. And along the way, you get to explore, you will realize if this guy have this certain trait, maybe he do this thing for me. I find it very important. I find it very touching. It's not plus $1, maybe it's a plus $10 thing. So to me, it may weigh a very important kind of weightage, but maybe to another girl of a similar background, but just another totally different girl, to her maybe she find that it's nothing there. I don't find anything special about this particular action, or So everybody see and view things differently. So it's a feeling kind of thing. So you really have no idea this plus, this minus, how it works for everybody. But it just works differently for everybody. And it's just like when you look at other people, other relationship, for example, the man abuse the wife, you will find that, hey, why does this wife don't want to, end this? Why you still continue to go out with him? Because from outside, we see him, we realize that, hey, he abused the wife. It's a minus one, it's confirmed a minus. So to us, my only impression on the guy is he is a minus, he's a negative impression. But to the girl, to the wife, although beating her is a minus action, but he does have his plus, 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 and all these plus could add up to overcome the minus that it has. That's why she do not let go. She don't want to let go of this whole relationship. So everybody got their own reason into staying in a relationship which no third party can understand. It's only when you yourself involved, then you will know. And how to actually boost up your plus, that's where the pre part will come in. So we actually need to really know how do you communicate to different people, what works for you, because end of the day, we want you to be yourself, but it's just how you can actually send the right messages on yourself. Because all of us, if you realize, when we are single after a period of years, we are so used to being ourselves, we are so used to the persona that we are sending. And you know that if you want to find a partner, you want to have a change, you really need to make a little small change on yourself. So we work with ourselves, what we have. Definitely it's not asking, saying like you are not good or whatever. It's more of whatever strength in you, how you make it shine, how you show it out to the party that you're meeting, or the friends around you, the people around you. Who knows the right one is just around you. It's just that you are not sending the right signal out. You are not able to attract the right man in. That's so simple. So for our masterclass or our coaching, we actually guide a lot into all this, and it's particular towards your own personal personalized kind lah. So for now, we have this special price, so it's 148, and it's only limited to the first 5%. So anybody key your wagon chart? Yes, yes. Yes, correct. Okay. So you all can take note. So for here, right, I think I overshot the timing and I'm so sorry. I thank all of you for attending the session today. So if you all are keen or to ask any more questions, you can also text me. And we have what? Oh yeah. So this is the details like on the live. So for here, right, maybe I can just remind you the subsequently next week and the SDM week, we have some more live sessions. So next week is a live sharing on Zoom. You can check on our website to actually look into what are the upcoming events. So we do have more sharing, and I hope you'll benefited from today's session. Okay. All right, thanks everyone. I hope you all really can benefit from this lah, because to me, I'm just sharing my viewpoints, and for people who know me, I tend to talk a lot. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, I hope to see you all